Good evening. It's Harlan Merriam here. Glad that you're on. Let's see if we can get this moving. See who else is coming up with us. Making sure I've got everything in place. Well, let's get going. Welcome tonight. This will be a short introduction to a virtual coaching opportunity that I'll be launching next week. The launch is scheduled for Monday, January the 28th. And the focus of our virtual coaching time together beginning next week and the weeks that follow will be to manage our thoughts and our feelings, particularly the recurring voices and emotions that challenge us the most, are getting in the way of our lives. God has created us with a mind, with emotions, and most of the time, my thoughts, your thoughts, our feelings serve us very well, don't they? But if you're like me, they can also trip us up. Have you ever felt like this guy? Down on yourself? Stuck? Or this woman, red with anger, out of control? Or like this, frozen in grief, sadness, all alone, your hope gone? I don't have these troubling thoughts or emotions all the time, but when I do, they can be a real bother. You know what I'm talking about? You and I have thoughts. They speak to us like a voice in our head, and they help us make sense of the world. You know, 1 + 1 is 2. The light is turning red when we're driving. We see that and kind of tell ourselves that. Or you've done this before, Harlan, you can do it again. Our thoughts help us make sense of the world, but they can also lead us astray. If only people knew they wouldn't like me, a thought we might have, or I don't fit anywhere, or I've messed up my life and nothing is going to change, or I'm not good enough, or something else enough. You ever have feelings like that? These kinds of thoughts, these kind of feelings often lead us in the wrong direction, block us from moving forward. Have you, like me, experienced recurring negative, disempowering thoughts? How about feelings? Those sensations in our body, those reactions to events around us, they can be our best friend. We can experience warmth, being at peace, joyful feelings put a dance in our step. Or too often, again, our feelings prod us to do things we just don't want to do. You know, like strike out at someone when we're angry at them, or withdraw from someone that we love. I know I do that. Freeze in fear. Feelings can prod us to make poor decisions, ones with very negative consequences, can't they? Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever felt like this? When our thoughts and our feelings take over, life kind of being all over the place, out of control, kind of like this squiggly line. You ever feel that way with your thoughts and feelings controlling you? Well, I've got some good news for you. You and I have a lot more control over our thoughts and feelings than we realize. We really do. God has given us the ability to change, to grow. We hear the words of Scripture, fear not, don't be anxious, have courage, be transformed. We can make new choices, develop new habits, be transformed. decide on new ways of thinking and feeling and acting. We can break out of our current patterns. I've done it. I've watched others. You can too. I like this sense of a saying, a quote, I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. I can adjust my sails. I'm getting better and better at adjusting my sails. And you can too. Are you satisfied with that squiggly line that isn't getting you to the destination you want for your life? Or would you like to begin adjusting your sails and discovering more fulfillment, better relationships, a steadier life, living the life you really want to live? You'll be in the right place in our virtual coaching that begins next week. If you are facing a challenge, do your thoughts and feelings sometimes create a real problem in your life? If so, you're in the right place. If they don't bother you, then you might want to take a pass on this. Second, you're in the right place if you really want to grow, if you're open to change, to that transformation that God holds out for you, if you want to manage your thoughts and feelings better. So if you face a challenge and want to grow, you're in the right place. Let me tell you a little about me. My name is Harland Merriam. I'm a pastor with more than 40 years experience, including more than 30 as an Army chaplain. I've been honored to walk alongside hundreds and hundreds of people through the normal up and downs of life and into some of the most serious crises that people face. I've been married 48 years to Barbara. We have 2 sons, 2 grandkids. I've run 4 marathons. I've co-authored an Amazon #1 bestseller with several other wonderful people from around the country. And I continue to get up every day, as a friend used to say, with a twinkle in my eye and a dance in my step. These days, I help people like you make breakthroughs in their life. This virtual coaching we'll do starting next week is an example of that life coaching. And to tell you the truth, I continue to struggle with some of my own thoughts and feelings. I'm sure glad I discovered this 4-step breakthrough, this blueprint several years ago. It's made such a huge difference. Our goal tonight is to take this opportunity that's launching next week, for you to take that opportunity. And I want you to know what to expect if you take that opportunity and join me on that virtual coaching over the next several weeks. I think we'll achieve that goal tonight. Now let's talk about your investment. To actually achieve the results that you're after, you'll need to make a significant investment during this virtual coaching experience, but not of dollars. It's absolutely going to be free, no cost at all. But, and remember what comes after the but is what's most important. But it is going to take a big investment of your time and your commitment. If you really want to change how you manage your thoughts and feelings, it will take some work. It probably won't be easy. It's not a matter of being a passive learner and soaking up information. The change comes when you put it into action, when you begin to practice these 4 steps in your life. I know it's made a huge difference in my life, practicing these. I have emotions just like you. I get fearful from time to time. I get angry. I get frustrated. I get stressed out. I face a lot of grief when there's a death of a family member. And I have those thoughts in my head just like you do. I call my thoughts Bob. Bob speaking to me. Bob saying, you can't do this. You're not good enough. You don't fit in here. I told the story of rock climbing with Joshua, our son, on some of the rock faces that he takes me up on in Colorado. And my legs turn to jelly and my blood pressure goes up and I freeze on the rock. I can't move. In the recent book, Purpose, Passion, and Profit, I told the story of some powerful emotions that I had that hit me while I was called back to active duty back after 9/11. Those thoughts that repeat in my head and yours, those thoughts about my abilities, about what might happen. Like you and others, I struggle with these feelings and these thoughts, particularly when they seem to control me. In fact, I'm hearing something inside my head right now that's saying, Harlan, you're going to really mess this up. You've never done a webinar. I'm nervous about this. But years ago, I discovered something, that aha for me. You understand an aha kind of moment? I realized that these thoughts, these feelings, they're there for a reason. They have a purpose. Instead of denying them, or running away from them, or getting upset with them, even when they were, it seemed, leading me down the wrong path, I began to open my eyes and recognize them in my life and accept them and investigate them. And as they began to quiet down, not be as powerful, I was able to move again, regain control, choose new thoughts, new feelings, new actions to serve me better. I discovered these thoughts that normally lead me down the wrong path can now take me to a better place as I get more control of them, as I don't fight them like I used to. Before, I used to get really upset with myself and other people, and now not so much anymore. Before, I would react by getting quiet, but now I'm engaging more and being present more. What are your befores that you want to change? I've seen others live healthier lives when they get in touch and get control back over their thoughts and feelings. Their blood pressure goes down, they sleep better, they're more confident, they enjoy more intimate relationships with those close to them, their family and their friends. They accomplish more around the house, at work, and they live and love well. And you can too. I'm going to be including the best of two disciplines that I've used in my life. One is science. I'm a math physics major, go way back as a scientist. And I'm going to be using some of the best of the research that's out there these days on what goes on in the brain and in the fields of emotional intelligence and seeing what neuroscience is telling us. And I'll also be drawing on deep resources in my faith. Christian faith for me, biblical faith, what the scriptures teach us, listening to songs of faith and the powerful practices of meditation, and gratitude and forgiveness and generosity. Now, you don't have to share the same faith as I do. I can honor that, even as you will honor me in mine. In our virtual coaching, I'll be drawing from the best of these two, science and faith. I'm really excited to share an announcement with you about somebody that's going to join us on this. It's a good friend. He's a PhD practicing psychologist, was director for a number of years at the University of Tennessee's Counseling Center, has trained many, many other counselors in the field over the years, over the decades. His name is Dr. Victor Barr. And to tell you the truth, he's my brother-in-law, Barbara's brother. He's married, 4 kids, a grandchild. We'll be joining together in this, and I'm really excited about that because he's going to bring a different set of eyes and understandings, a different way of looking at this. And he has his own story about his thoughts, his feelings, how they get in the way from time to time, and about, well, we won't tell the stories about others, but he's had such a profound influence on his clients and his counseling practice. Looking forward to Victor joining us. He's had so much success and will with us. But I have a question for you. How committed are you? On a scale of 0 to 10, how committed are you to making this breakthrough in your life? From 0 being not at all to 10 being totally, radically committed. Where are you? Think about it a minute. Where are you? A 4, a 5, a 6? Well, I want to tell you, if you're not an 8 or a 9 or a 10, it's probably not going to work, because this is going to take commitment. It's not going to be easy. Let me ask you, how much is this costing you emotionally to stay where you are? Who else is it impacting, the kind of patterns you're in right now? How valuable would it be when a few weeks from now you're achieving those breakthroughs and getting those results you want and managing your thoughts and your feelings better? Will you be sleeping better? Will your relationships be healed? Will stress be reduced? So again, how committed are you? What's going to take to get it up there to an 8 or a 9 or a 10? Because that's what it's going to take. It's not just being passive, not just listening, not just learning something, but putting it into practice, committed to put it into practice. My hope is over the next 6 weeks, yes, I did just say 6 weeks. Over the next 6 weeks, I hope to draw out from within you a capacity that God has given you to choose your thoughts and feelings and regain control over them when they get in your way. Over these 6 weeks, that's the plan. A slow, deliberate, effective approach to making a real change, a transformation. Dealing with those thoughts that are not serving you well. A counterintuitive way of approaching your feelings, particularly the challenging ones like fear and self-doubt and anger and grief and hopelessness. Will bridge the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. You ready to bridge that gap? You ready to persevere and follow through and put this into practice? Are you ready to achieve the results you want? Are you ready to take that leap? And for some of us, it's going to be a huge leap beginning next Monday. I would guess the journey over the next 6 weeks can have its ups and downs. You might be eager right now. As we get into this, you may find it difficult. You may ask yourselves, do I want to make these changes? I don't know if it's worth it. This is too hard. You might find yourself in a valley of despair. It will not be easy. It wasn't for me. You might find yourself saying, I don't know if I can do this. How important to you are the results you want to achieve for your life? I remember when I was learning to ride a bicycle, even at a young age, thoughts and feelings were part of the journey. I remember the fear and the falls and the skinned knees, but I was committed to learn to ride a bicycle. So I persevered. Here's where we're going. Persevere and we'll make it. And achieve the results you want. Let's take that leap. Bridge that gap. Make those changes. If you'd like to come along, and not simply in a passive way, but come along and help me with this virtual coaching experience over the next 6 weeks, send me an email. Here's the email address, harland.merriam@gmail.com. Just say I'm in, and I'll send you something over the weekend about how you can get into this experience. Remember, to really make this work, be sure your commitment's up there near a 10, at least an 8 or a 9, hopefully a 10. I'm committed at a level 10 to make this the best experience for you and for me, for all of us as it can be. I still have much to learn, and there are fresh areas in my life to keep applying that 4-step blueprint that we'll look at together. So I'm in, and I hope you are too. Once a week, you and Victor and I and the others on this journey will enjoy a conference call in which we can explore this 4-step blueprint and begin to practice it. I'll be sending a daily email with some things to think about or to put into practice in your life, perhaps a YouTube video to watch or an article to read or an action that you might take. Each week, I'll ask you to answer some questions to help me get a better and better at this. So I'll finish up the webinar tonight and put it into a recording so others can see it. And I thank you tonight. If you have any further questions, drop me an email. If you'd like to know how to get into the launch next Monday, January 28th, email me and say I'm in. I'll send you the link so you can come on board and join the venture, and we'll both get better at managing our thoughts and feelings. How does that sound? Thanks again. Good night.